We are here. We here like we ain't ever been here before. Why? Because it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new season. That's right. What is it today? It's a good old Thursday, and I always like to start off with gratitude. You got to understand the importance of it. Somebody didn't wake up this morning, so I'm just excited. I'm charged up because I'm here, I'm living, and I'm sitting across from another phenomenal. You got to understand when I say phenomenal, I mean phenomenal. We're sitting across from yet another phenomenal guest right here on the Unselfish Behavior Podcast, which is the #1 podcast in LA. Yes, if they didn't know, now they know. We're going at my main man. He goes by the name of Mike Gray. He's in the building right now, representing North Carolina, by the way.
North Carolina in the building, man.
Come on now.
Jacksonville, North Carolina, 910. We're here. We made it out here.
Yes, sir.
We came here to be unselfish today.
Come on now.
Came here to be unselfish.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Now, Big Mike, you know, before I jump into any dialogue, and you know we're going to touch on some shit.
And we are.
We're going to touch on some shit.
Yes, sir.
I gotta allow you to have the floor. To give people that don't know you the opportunity to just talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you stand for.
Got you. Well, my name is Mike, Mike Gray, Mr. Gray. I'm from Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I'm 30, born in April 3rd. All my Aries babies stand up. I don't know too much about all the signs and whatnot, but I've heard some good things about myself.
You Aries?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
man. We do what we do.
Come on now.
But yeah, man, I'm from the Carolinas, North Carolina to be exact. I lived born in Jacksonville, which was a small military town, you know, had a very, very humble beginning. Raised in the house with a lot of love. Then I ended up moving to Winston-Salem State when I went to college, graduated there in 2017.
Yeah.
And basically from that point in time, I can say that I've been holding on to a lot of the initial morals and values that, you know, was instilled into me.
Love it.
Good, strong background where a lot of love was shown. And I took that with me. I feel like I carried that with me all the years. And then me being able to step out and branch out, go to school and kind of realize, all right, now that I've left this nest, okay, who am I really gonna be?
Yeah.
And I kept, you know, as wild as things got sometimes, I kind of kept holding on to that.
Yeah.
And with the world that we live in today, man, you see a lot of adversity, man. And I've always held on to the bright spot that's within me.
I love it.
And basically, I've just been living like that, man. So for work, I work as a mental health professional. I'm a qualified professional. And basically, I work one-on-one with mentally capacitated individuals. And basically, I work direct in-home, and I work as a bridge for them to be in the community.
Love it.
So we're advocating jobs. We're helping them find resources and community networking opportunities to have them have lives that's meaningful to them. Because one thing you learn in the mental health community, there's so many different tiers.
Yeah.
And sometimes nobody really pays attention to the people who are really, you know, for the people who have been outcasted, I'll say that. For the people who have been outcasted and are not looked at as people. Yeah. So my job is really, really rewarding. And, you know, on top of my job, you know, I'm a writer, man.
I love it.
I'm a writer.
Come on now, talk about it.
You know, I'm working on a book.
Come on, book.
It's called Piece to the Puzzle.
Come on.
Which is basically a collection of, you know, some of my epiphanies that I've had over time, living this life and understanding that everybody deals with frustration. And, you know, of course, I wanted to make it original to, you know, for myself and not for just, you know, for everybody to read, but especially people who look like me and deal with the things that, you know, we kind of come in contact with.
Right on.
So working on that, building my brand too as well,
Come on,
man.
I like what I'm seeing here. You got to understand it.
BMBC.
Come on.
Stands for Black Men Breaking Chains. Oh, and you see, this is like Chain Breaker University right here, man.
Can you do that one more time and just say that name for me one more time?
BMBC, Black Men Breaking Chains, man.
Come on now.
Childhood friend of mine that I came up with, you know, been friends for about 20 years now.
Nice.
And we just looked at our lives, man. It's good having a friend to kind of like go through these paces of life with you.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and a shout out to Keith, man. He know who I'm talking about.
Come on now. Shout out my man Keith out there.
Yes, sir. But we kind of just looked at what we've done. You know what I'm saying? We look back where we came from, and not a lot of people take that time to really reflect. And we just, in a nutshell, it's like, bro, we came through a lot of hardships, broken a lot of curses.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's all we want to do, man.
Yeah.
That's all we want to do. And it can look any kind of way you want it to look. But if you're a chain breaker, you know what it is to see the cycle operating, and you know what it is to say, not me.
Absolutely.
Not me, not today.
Yeah, it's a lot of us are raised in environments and in homes that portray, or not portray, but that get us caught up into a certain way of living, which is what we call a cycle, right? So this form of living, whether it's through religion, whether it's through work, whether it's through relationships, whether it's through parenting, the only things, I just said this the other day, I said the only things that we know are the things we were taught. And so what happens in life? I tell people life is not so much about learning. It's about the process of unlearning, right? It's like somebody put it to me like this, a good friend of mine by the name of Garen Jones. Shout out to Garen Jones. He say, what would you do, Mike, if you drank some water and you found out it was some poison in it? The first thing you would do is what?
I'd spit the water out first.
You try to get it out.
And then, you know, I have to think to myself, I say, all right, where did I get this water from?
Come on.
And, you know, because it's easy to say, hey, man, this cup of water just really made me sick.
But the moral is somebody is trying to poison me, and I just drank some shit that can kill me. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is try to get it out of my system. I think, and then he related that to life and the things that we were taught within our lives. A lot of times the limiting beliefs that haunt us as adults were taught to us as kids. And so you talk about the process of breaking generational curses, if you will, right? It's a nonstop process that seems to get stronger and harder as time progresses, because a lot of times we don't stop to understand we're trying to break curses that have been a norm for 25, 26, 27, 30 years, however old we are.
400 of them things.
You know what I'm
really
saying?
Be,
exactly.
What I'm saying?
Absolutely. And for me, it's like understanding that will and is a process. And that's a process that should be loved, I think, because, you know, Mike, again, we live in a world, my brother, where a lot of people, they just want to reach the goal without going through the motions of the process. And in the process is where we get our armor. Right?
Yes, man.
So that's where I'm at with it.
And I feel that 100%, because I can really say that, you know, when you talk about, you know, coming up in a home where, you know, you get a certain base level set of rules or guidelines, and you take that with you out into the world. Now, I said, like myself, I was raised with a lot of love, man. I really was.
Love it.
But for me, you know, as I grew and, you know, got a little bit more exposure and really experienced the life that I know my parents didn't live. I was one of those, out of my initial household, I was the first one to go to school. I was the first one to go to college and really see life outside my own backyard. And I was thankful for all the lessons that my parents taught me. But one thing that I realize is that sometimes we lean on the word of mouth of mom and dad, and that's okay. But we have to understand that mom and dad are people just like us. Your mom and dad was 21, 22 at a point in time, and you tell me if you had it all together at 21 and 22.
Yes, sir.
And I know better. But the thing is that if you have somebody who came before you and they laid some groundwork, your job is to sit there and say, all right, let me clean up these roads some so I can improve this ground for the next person.
Yes, sir.
And what kind of smacked me in the face was that I had this huge set of morals and beliefs that I got out and really got into the real world. And it gave me this false sense of authority that I felt like I had over certain situations. And then I found out it don't work that way. And for a lot of people, it can be really, really difficult to be in that space because let's say, you know, in the South, you know, Christianity reigns supreme. Yep. And that's fine. You know, religion is cool for who it plays its purpose. Yeah. And the thing is that, you know, the whole scripture, faith without works is dead, in the sense is that people have painted this picture that, hey, you know, somebody is here to save you and do the work for you. And, and you know, when you walk around with that false sense of authority, I'm going to just pray about it and I'm going to leave it alone. It don't work like that. It just don't. And it's the same way when I feel like even people developing a false sense of authority with even the way that they feel that they look. Like if a woman looks a certain way.
Wisdom, I hope y'all listen.
If a woman looks a certain way.
Break that down for me.
And let's say, you know, she's beautiful, she's attractive, you know, she has all the right features that, you know, men may physically desire.
Yes, sir.
And all her life, let's say she's been this way since 13, 14, and she's been a developed young woman. In her eyes, men have given and thrown themselves to her time and time again. So in her mind, She does not have to work on the value of who she is internally to get anybody else to be in front of her.
Where you find
you know what I'm saying?
Brown Rich. Saying. You got to understand who this is in front of us right now. You guys are very familiar with Brown Rich, aka Jazz.
That's my queen.
This is her king right here that's talking. And you know what? You know, while you're talking, I'm thinking to myself, I look back at my sister and I say, where'd you find this, brother? But it's truly a testament to attracting you. In relationships, you track versions of yourself. And so you have to understand the importance of that. Wow. I love how this man just broke that down right now. Because I never even viewed it like that from a woman's perspective. She's so, the only sense, and I think me and Brown Rich talked about it a little bit too, the only sense of self-value and worth she's ever heard has been centered around her body. And so she's now crowned her beauty as her body and her looks and her face and her hair and this and that. And it's like, no, ma'am, that's an aspect to beauty.
Just one.
That's one aspect to beauty. But if you have a fucked up attitude, a fucked up mindset, a fucked up perspective, you're constantly then you can't
You're gonna attract it.
You're gonna attract that.
You're gonna attract it.
So I don't really believe in women ain't shit.
I don't believe that either, man.
Man ain't shit.
Me either.
Black men ain't shit. Black women ain't shit. What the fuck are you talking about? When are you gonna stop and realize, dummy,
you're perpetuating the damn problem.
You ain't shit. So you're attracting people. I got to talk to the people right now. Mike, I got to talk to the people right now because they tuned in. You're attracting what you are. This is for me. And we about to touch on relationships right now because Mike bringing me up. Yep, he charging me up. I don't know if it's the bang or I don't know if it's Mike. I don't know if it's the bang. I don't know if it's Mike. But I'm charged up right now. And I have to say this because it's so pivotal. It's so important. You attract what you are. You don't attract what you want. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Now we talking about my journey real quick, real brief, Mike, because I got to get some more intellect from you because you're a brilliant man and you know exactly what the hell is going on here.
Let's get it.
For me, I've been engaged 2 times. I'm 29 years old now. Just turned 29 last month. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Capricorn season was here. And it was in full-fledged effects.
They hang it around.
I got to say that. You know, I got to say that.
Yes.
I got to say that.
Yes. Go ahead.
Big Mike, I got to say that. So what I'm saying right now is this. I've been engaged 2 times at 28. I was engaged 28. Boom, boom. So at some, and they both ended very, very similarly. I attracted the same person with different names.
Oof. I know what that's like.
I attracted 2 situations very, very similar with 2 different bodies. I stopped everything after the last one ended. And I said, I'm not dating anybody or entertaining anybody until I'm ready to attract who I am. And right now, I'm not ready to attract who I am. I said this about 4 years ago.
You got to know.
And I said, I'm not ready to attract who I am. I have unaddressed insecurities. This is at the time, 4 years ago. I looked at myself in the mirror and I had the ability to be aware of my insecurities, be aware of my traumas, be aware of the things I'm not bringing to the table. What type of energy am I putting out? Is it a desperation energy? Is it a confident energy? Now we're talking real because the biggest issue that people have is the ability to look at themselves and to be transparent with themselves. You cannot go out here and fake the funk and act like it's their issue every time something goes astray, or if they cheating on you, or if they doing it. Bro, you attracted that. Sis, you attracted that.
You accepted it.
You accepted it. But most importantly, you attracted it. And then you may think to yourself, well, I'm not cheating. There's an aspect about you that's unsure about yourself, and your partner will subconsciously pick that energy up and move accordingly.
And run with it.
So for me, I was ready to stop dating, stop entertaining, and I said, you know what? I understand how the universe works now. He gives you what you are in every single aspect. 1000%. So Big Mike, I said, I don't want to date anybody until I've mastered the art of dating myself. Until I'm okay with being alone. I'm sorry, not alone. Alone. Until I'm okay with being, because it's the difference between being alone and lonely. I tell people it's a huge difference. Like I fell in love with being alone. I fell in love with giving myself things that I was constantly looking for.
You found solace.
I found solace. I found solitude. I found a peace within myself without other entities being involved. And I knew once I found that,
nobody could take that.
Nobody can ever take it away. I can't stand when people go into relationships and they say, you complete me. Oh, can we break that down?
Listen.
Hey, no. Can we really unpack that? Because you complete me indicates that I'm not full without you. two individuals that are full together,
they'll never be
it's
empty,
an overflow of love. They'll never be empty. No one person will be taking more than the other. It will constantly be that big R word. I call it reciprocity.
Yes.
You have to have reciprocity in a relationship. So for me, I want to dive into this with you, Big Mike. Obviously, we two black brothers, we two black young brothers in relationships with wonderful queens.
Yes.
And that is not, I'm not going to say it's not normalized, because I do think it's normalized, but it's not a big enough light shined on that. And we're going to shine some light on the importance of that right now. What's kind of the blueprint, in your opinion, in regards to having a healthy, long-lasting relationship at this age, two people that are clearly focused on individual missions and goals? What's the key, do you think, Mike, for people out there listening, to having a long-lasting and healthy relationship?
1,000%, man. So for long-lasting and healthy relationships, especially in this day and age, one of the things that I feel like people need to embody most is understanding.
There we go, Mike.
You got to think about how you feel in this moment, and you got to understand that everybody is dealing with life just like you.
Yeah.
They may not be dealing with the same realities that you're dealing with, but they're dealing with the realities within themselves.
Yeah.
So everybody's not here to fix you. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Nobody's here.
Job.
And it's not their job to fix you. So one, stop coming into situationships looking to take. So many people come in.
You have to say that again.
Stop coming into situations with people looking to take with your hand out. When I see people come up with, if a woman was to approach me with her hand out saying, when you going, we can stop talking right now.
Immediately.
We can stop talking, because what you see in me it's not you.
Yeah.
We don't reflect those same values. And another thing I say is communication.
Come on.
Communication is, I know you say communication, people say communication is key all the time, but you got to understand that there's levels when it comes to this communication game.
Come on,
man. There's, what I realize is that the realer I got, the more I was able to realize who wasn't able to keep it that real. Because there are so many people saying, I don't lie, I don't do things, but let me ask you this: do you omit certain truths when you're telling people about yourself?
Come on now.
You may not have lied, but did you tell the whole story about, hey, yeah, I'm single. Like, you know how it goes. If girl hit you, you single? Yeah, I'm single. But you know you got to line up.
Yes,
you
sir.
know you got to line up,
playing.
man.
Stop
Stop
playing. Damn well
you got to be able to say,
listen,
you can say I'm single and I'm dating, and you can let somebody know what's going on. But I feel like the more realer I got with myself and let me rewind a little bit. Okay, so interesting, similarly to you.
Yeah.
You said you was engaged?
Yes, sir.
Well, when I was 20, I got married to my high school sweetheart.
Yes, sir.
Met her at 17, very organic. You know, it wasn't the typical social media thing.
Right.
This was more so of a, hey, I seen you, you seen me, you know, let's rap.
Understood.
At a young age, knowing the limited amount that I knew, you know, we fell in love. And I don't want to say that it wasn't, but what I will say is that you can only love someone as deeply as you love yourself. So if you don't know the layers and everything that comes with you, you don't even know how to find somebody who is in alignment with you, because right now you're just winging it. And that's what comes with youth, man. That's what comes with youth, but that's why it's so important for us to pour in and give back.
Yes, sir.
But having that time to date somebody, and I was really with it. You know, I saw the example set by my peoples. And, you know, my mother taught me and my father taught me, you know, women aren't a thing to be conquered. You know what I'm saying? They just deserve respect. And I always kind of carry that respect. I have 3 sisters.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying? So I was raised around a house with a lot of women. And when I got back out there to really see what was going on, I had gotten engaged, and, you know, we got married. We married for 2 years, man, from 20 to 22. And basically, thank God it didn't end bad, but it ended with that whole sense of, you know, we kind of hit a ceiling. You know, when you're growing up, you hit that ceiling of trying to figure out, okay, what's next? We realized that who we were becoming was not good for each other. So we went our separate ways. So me getting back out there, I took a very observational standpoint. I didn't want to go out. I had just gave the previous 7 years of my life to somebody. Yeah. So I didn't want to go out here and just jump inside this dating game and start giving stuff away. Right. So I told myself, hey, man, take a back seat, be very observative, and, you know, give some time for yourself.
Yeah.
So what I did was throughout that time of me, being, you can call it a bachelor again, I wanted to really see who I was.
Yeah.
Analyze
yourself.
Talk to a few different women and whatnot. But the thing is that I was such a one-woman man beforehand. I really didn't know how to do much.
Right. It's new waters.
It's newer waters.
Yeah.
So like I said, I got to school. I went back to Winston-Salem State.
Yeah.
I was married for 2 years. We divorced in February of 2012.
Yep.
I ended up going back to school at Winston-Salem State in 2014.
Okay.
At that point in time, that's when I was a little bit more knowledgeable at this time.
Yes, sir.
So I was exposed to a whole wave of different people, different women, different energies. And this time around, it was like, no, we're not jumping in head first.
There we go.
We're going to take a look around and see what's going on.
That's awareness from based off experience.
Based off experience.
Yep.
And I had my fun. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
I had my fun, but it came to be a certain point, like you said, especially when you hold yourself to a certain moral standard.
Come on now.
When you keep going through certain cycles and you see people get hurt or you see certain people become affected by the kind of relationship that you've had, you got to sit there and say to yourself, I don't want to do this to anybody again. Yeah. I was as honest as I could have been in a lot of situations, but I still saw that it was still hurting people.
Absolutely.
And I say, you know what? A few more years of development, hit that age at about 27 when I was getting ready to graduate.
Beautiful.
I was getting ready to graduate from college. And I told myself, hey, you already know what's on the other side of these doors, bro.
Yes,
You've
sir.
been, because I went to college between 07, 09, did a stint in the Marine Corps. I got medically discharged early. And then I did a 2-year stint in the Fayetteville Fire Department in North Carolina.
Got you.
So I know what the real world was like. And I knew that, me going to school and having my fun, being, Mr. Being the bruz, being the Q, being active on campus, nobody was going to care about any of that once I left. I knew that. I knew that for a fact because I seen it for myself.
Got you.
So I said, what am I going to stand on? What am I going to really stand on? What kind of person do I want to be to dictate the rest of my life?
Gotcha.
And if I knew I wanted the companionship of a woman in my life. I knew I did, but the one thing I knew was that, similar like you said, you wasn't going to do what you did again until you knew things was right. So I had to go on a bit of an exodus in which I kind of had to really eliminate things and really find my value within myself.
Got you.
And over time, when I started to be more active in saying, okay, I want to bring somebody into my life, I was very, very objective about what I was doing. And what I did was I had to start saying no to things I wasn't saying no to before.
That's right.
So whereas if a woman wanted to kind of hang out and just casually kick it and do a little extra, even though I could, sometimes it's not about what you do, it's about what you're willing to say no to.
Come on.
It's about what you don't do.
Yeah, I hope
and so,
come on.
In a way, I had to continue to tell myself no from those things that weren't representative of the love that I was trying to build for myself.
There we go.
And so once I really passed some tests that I knew I needed to pass to say, all right, you ready? And it was crazy because I felt like I had just eliminated one. I don't say eliminated as if I just, pushed this woman off my docket, but I told myself no to somebody who I would really say yes to. And then after I did that, a few days later, that's when I saw my queen, pop up, on the random feed.
Back there smiling like a motherfucker.
And I told myself, because I said I after running a couple of situations before, I told myself, hey man, I'm not sliding in no DMs no more. I've done the social media thing. I'm not doing that no more. But
you get to a certain point too, Mike, to where it's like certain routes for even entertaining women. And I'm gonna say this very, very clearly. I need people to hear this. You have to even pay attention to the route that you're taking to meet your woman. Like if you're in a certain environment, for example, you've had your I would call it my wild boy season.
Yes,
you've had wild boy season. I'm not looking for wifey in a party where I'm holding her up over my face, acting like I'm eating her pussy. Like it's just more than likely, this is not the woman I'm gonna marry one day.
I can't sit here and say I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Like that's just not where she gonna probably be at. And that's no disrespect to anybody that's in their current wild boy season or hot girl summer, whatever the fuck y'all want to do. Hey, power to you. We've all been there. But what I'm saying is, what I'm hearing you say is, you started to realize that there's certain ways and there's certain roads and avenues that you knew you wanted to explore that you've never explored before. But in order to explore those roads and avenues, you had to make sacrifices. You had to reject people and things and temptations that you were not currently willing to reject. And with that rejection and with that intention, that's just a man being intentional, really, came the reward.
Yes. And I will say that, and I'm the type of dude, I feel like, for me, only because, you know, I feel like I'm a self-aware cat.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, a lot of times I can see things coming. And I was telling myself, like, man, like, bruh, I'm not doing another social media sliding in the DMs thing. You've done it before, but the thing was, I had one mutual friend with Jazz.
Yeah.
And I went through that contact and I said, you know what, tell me about it. What does she stand on? What kind of morals?
Now we asking the right questions this time around.
Because I was already gonna slide, so I'm like, I'm not gonna just slide frivolously.
You gonna slide with intention.
Slide with intention.
My brother slid in there with intention.
Slid with intention, man.
You telling me my brother slid in that thing with intention?
You can answer the DM. You can answer the DM.
Come on.
You can answer it.
Come on.
But if his intentions ain't right, you gotta be able to sniff it out, man.
That part.
You gotta be able to sniff it out,
Because you know
man.
what I'm saying? Look, because we talked about the ability to see something on the surface opposed to something internally. Beautiful women get their DM slid into all day long, especially if they single. So what's going to be the difference maker between Big Mike, the Q dog, doing his thing, hopping in that DM, trying to see what's going on? She going to obviously go to your page, scroll up and down, say, oh, this
she going to look a little
bit.
You
know what I'm saying?
She going to look.
She see Wild Boy season.
Yeah.
Look, Mike, she see him doing. She see my man traveling with his bros.
Wild Boy season was in full effect once upon a time, man. I just want you to know. I had to live it so I could get rid of it, man.
Come on now.
I got to be able to tell the young brothers out there.
That part.
Listen, man, this is not. I did it.
That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying? Nobody respect nobody who ain't been there.
The jersey,
show me the T-shirt, bro, if you really been there.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But
that's it.
You know, it was cool that I could go through that just so I could really tell them that the glitz and glamour of that might have been cool, but this is real gold. This is more valuable than gold right here, man. What I've been able to build has been more valuable than gold. And what I can say is it's due to a lot of communication. I know I said it a while ago, but I bring it back.
On it again.
We got to communication. We're bringing it back because, you know, initially when I was trying to find my way, when I was more reserved and got myself together, I tried my hand a couple times just to speak to a few different people. And what I realized was that, you know, kind of how I said people aren't ready to go, but so deep with you. I realized when it came to being able to communicate, it had to be raw. It had to be foundational level communication, because there's a lot of times. How many times are you hanging out with somebody and he or she might do something that kind of, I won't say it's a red flag, but it kind of, you know, pinches you a little bit.
Been there.
It makes you look a little bit. How many times do we not say anything? And in that moment, I feel like that is you, in a way, neglecting yourself if you don't speak up for yourself
1,000%.
just to find out what's going on.
1,000%.
Because you're gonna blindly lead yourself into a situation where you ignore certain things that you just shouldn't ignore. And honestly, those things that we are ignoring, if we explore them, they can be keys and gateways to a whole new level of love and life.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to give yourself a chance to explore. You have to build up that confidence. You have to stop telling yourself, if I ask, she ain't gonna be interested in me no more. Well, if you ask her, if you tell her about something that's meaningful and important to you, that, you know, that may have, you know, something that she have done that may have affected you, if you never tell her, then, bro, how special can the situation be?
Absolutely.
How many adventures can you say that y'all have gone
That's
on?
it.
Adventures just ain't going on trips and,
That's
you know, going
Come on, Mike, talk to
the DR.
Come on.
That's not just the adventure. The adventure is taking that risk of being like, my God, my feelings are built up for this woman. I feel a way. If I reveal certain pieces of myself to her, is she gonna stay? But you got to give her a chance to show that she's that person for you. You got to give him a chance to show that he's that person for you. But at that same token, if you give him a chance to show, he can also show you that he's not.
Absolutely.
In the same token, she can show you that she is. She can also show you that she's not.
And act accordingly. When people show you who they are,
believe it.
Believe it. Mm-hmm. So if you see something that you're not too fond with and y'all can't address it as a collective, and they treating you like it's not an issue,
like it's not a thing,
then this is not for me.
You don't care that
because
much.
Now you're putting and that's what I was going to ask you. Let's just transition what we're talking about into the question I was going to ask you, because it's both in alignment.
Yeah.
You talked about your past. Every single person has a past. People have a habit of having very selfish mindsets in relationships and feeling like they can hold your past against you, but meanwhile shoving their past in the closet like they don't have one. And this is for people out there, I think, in relationships that are unintentional. You know, and again, I always, when I'm talking, I try to listen from the perspective of the listener and try to give them gems for people out there that, you know, so on and so forth. So how do you kind of address, like, how do you address, for example, in your situation, you have people that's a part of your past that'll try to pull your ass back. knowing you in a relationship, knowing that you're not that person anymore. Like you have people that's a part of your past that'll offer that'll invite you to some shit that they know damn well is not even in alignment with the man you looking to be anymore, but they'll do it anyway. How do you kind of create those boundaries between your past and your present?
Okay.
It's a good question, huh, Mike?
Yeah, great question,
Damn,
man.
good
Great question, man.
I'll do my thing.
Yes, sir. You doing your thing, man. You making the wheels turn, man.
I'll do what I do.
The wheels turn.
Come on now.
I'll honestly say, man, to create a healthy boundary, you got to be comfortable. I don't say comfortable, but you have to be knowledgeable and very, very rooted in the direction that you feel that it is you're going, and to understand that, you know, when I go right, if I have a friend that's trying to pull me left or judging me or ridiculing me for not going left, you could just say, hey, bro, you ain't got to go left with me, man, but I still love you anyway. Yeah. But if you want to ridicule me and tear my character down, bro, then we are not really friends. Yeah. And we have to either talk about it or I have to accept it. Yeah. And I can say, honestly, for me, it was a blessing because I had such big gaps of transitions, but the one thing about me, I always kind of led with respect. Even when I was out here in these streets, I try to be very respectful and direct about how I moved. And for me, fortunately, that kind of played a part into when I did go on my exodus. Whoever I was dealing with at the time, I had built a decent enough relationship with for them to respect it. But moving forward, when anybody I had came in contact with afterwards, you know, I had built such a palette of love and such a palette of foundational respect. Once I did move on, nobody really tried to pull me back. But for the people who, I have had a couple messages that, you know, have come in and, you know, tried to make a swaying decision one way or the other. But I'm gonna keep it hot. When you have to be able to look at it as though you're basically working and you're giving your life to create a new life for yourself, you know, to evolve and be better. And anybody who tries to snatch that out of you or tries to teeter with that, in a way, it's a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of disrespect.
You better say that. I know damn well you just did not disrespect me by offering me some shit that, you know, I've already cured myself from, I've already healed from. It's kind of like, you know, drug addict perspective. It's like, yo, my main man, if you know I used to be addicted to a drug, and you offering me drugs, big dog, or even having me in an environment where people are doing it, you ain't got no respect for me. You ain't my friend. You're not somebody I could trust. You're not somebody I can hang with. And so for me, a part of my journey, especially being with my queen, I've had to find myself constantly making adjustments with people that's used to me operating in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, yo, the single Q 3.5 years, of course I was on some self-awareness stuff. I was on some self-discovery stuff, personal development, the whole nine. But at the same time, yes, I am a man. Being transparent, I had needs. I had women I was dealing with. I had, you know, I'm living by myself. I had certain people and entities that, you know, I dealt with. And by the way, I had certain friends of mine who knew that, right? And so once you make a decision to go a certain route, you have to be aware that your friends or your associates may not all be in agreement with the route you're going in. You know what I'm saying?
It'll tell you a lot about yourself,
right?
If you inspect each one of your friendships and look at what it's built on, look at everything objectively. What brought us together? Facts. What do we do together when we're hanging out? Is this conducive to the person I'm trying to be right now or for my future? And if it's not, you have to be real enough with yourself to either one. It goes back to that thing where you have to open up your mouth and give somebody a chance to either, hey, they're going to respect your words, they're going to respect their boundaries, or they not. That way you can move forward with good conscience, good heart, and you don't have to go back and think, man, you know, me and Dog was tight or me and Shorty was tight. No, Shorty was tight with who you used to be.
Facts.
Dog was tight with who you used to be.
Facts. I made a post the other day, Big Mike. I said, stay away from people that attempt to bring older versions of yourself out. And that's so key for me, dog.
It's so nature, bro. It's nature for people to naturally want to, because, you know, the term misery loves company is so true.
It's fact.
It's so true.
It's fact.
Because you'll look at people celebrate the demise of somebody's relationship just because maybe my life is in shambles right now and it feels good to look at somebody make an ass of themselves on reality TV. Yeah. It feels good to see it and know that, hey, at least that's not me, you know?
Hey, look, when you got something good, I've been experiencing this shit. Mm-hmm. When you got something good, I'm going to say that 3 times.
One more time, man.
When you got something good, dog, and you blasting it and you putting it out there, and you allowing people that may not have it as good in their situation, and they hanging around y'all energy, that can create a little something energetically.
It can.
That has the potential to create some jealousy. That has the potential to create some animosity. And whether it's spoken about or not, energy is unquestionable. Yeah,
it's his own language.
You can feel when somebody is not right just being around a happy and peaceful couple. You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
And one thing that I got to talk about, man, this is why I love this fucking podcast, because we literally have no cap on what we're able to talk about.
And you're doing a great thing, man.
Come on now, we have to. Come on. And for me, we have to be very aware of something, especially as men, Mike. My dad taught me this since I was a little boy, and I never really understood it. Don't bring your girl around unhappy homeboys. So, for example, you know your homeboys that's constantly complaining to you about their life, their relationship, their perspective on women. You bring your happy ass, go-lucky ass, you and your girlfriend around that miserable ass homeboy, you better believe that his intentions may not be as pure as you may want them to be.
Oh, man.
And so for me, I just peep shit. I peep shit. I see shit. We you know, especially me and you talking now, I can feel very, very clearly we're men with intention. It's very, very hard, very difficult to hide things from men with intention because every move is calculated.
Gotta be.
Even having you around me is calculated. Because every move that I do has intention behind it. I said that to my sis when I came in here with the damn jacket. Right? Every move that I do is intentional, whether it's spoken about or not. So if I'm inviting certain people, it's because I want to see how you operate in these environments
1000%.
in order to see if I want to move forward with you as whatever the case may be. And sometimes, a lot of times, if not all the time, I sit there and I just peep shit. And I say, now I know what adjustments to make. I ain't gonna take it personal. I'm gonna put you in an environment to reveal who you are. See, for example, everybody wears a suit and talks their best language in a job interview for 30 minutes in order to get the job. Every single candidate is going to come in here and do the same exact fucking thing. They're going to talk about their greatest ventures. They're going to talk about their greatest accomplishments. They're going to speak in ways that they don't motherfucking speak on a daily basis. They bringing out their best dress. They bringing out their best suit because they want the job.
They want it, man.
And I'll never forget what a good friend of mine told me. She said, Q, this is Elena Love. Shout out to Elena Love. She said, Q, you're the light. Your energy is light. I can say the same thing about you. Just talking to you for a few minutes, it don't take me long to feel energy.
Same thing, my brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Same
and it's
thing.
like, when you're light, you attract everybody, negative and positive people. Everybody wants to be around you, but you have to have discernment enough to be able to know what their intentions are in wanting to be around you. Are you an energy sucker? Are you empty at home, so you just want to be charged up to fucking King Q all day and his positive energy?
You gotta know.
Because if that's the case, you're going to drain your boy, and I ain't got time for that. So I say it's very important for us to understand not everyone's morals and value, not everyone's values and moral compass is in alignment with ours, and sometimes that takes time in order for people to reveal that. You can't see that initially. So for example, the analogy with people going to job interviews, you're not going to know what somebody's work ethic is like until you put them in the field.
That's right. That's right.
You're not going to know what their consistency is like and if they on time to work until they start working. You can't see that before you hire them. You can't see that before you make the decision that you want them to work with your company. You have to put people in positions to see what they about. And that is something I feel as though I have mastered. And that's why I am extremely particular about the people who I have around me in my personal life.
Yes, sir.
Because I've experienced it. I'm talking close homies, dog. Big Mike, I'm talking homies like bros, like nigga, real bros.
I know.
To where it's like, yo, you my dog, nigga. I know you ain't over here on some sneaky deaky, freaky deaky shit with my girl. Like, I don't see what you doing, big dog. I got to make that adjustment. I got to move. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to talk about something very key, very pivotal. And they know when I say pivotal, I'm going to a certain space.
Let's get there, man.
Come on now. It's a special place. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz or some shit. I don't know. So I say this. Hey, look, my man Mike.
I was looking off with you, man. I wanted to be there with you, man.
I'm trying to tell you when I talk, it takes you to a certain space.
I'm trying to travel there. Let's get it. Let's go, man. I'm trying to travel with you, brother.
Big Mike, I say this like this. What's up with brothers out here cheating on good women?
Man.
Mike, can we unpack that?
We can.
And not just men doing it, but women doing it as well. I'm talking sneaky deaky, freaky deaky shit. That's what I call it. That's what I call cheating, sneaky deaky, freaky deaky shit. Because we live in the age of social media.
Yeah.
And we live in the age of technology. It is extremely easy to cheat on somebody.
So easy.
It's very easy to hide some shit. They got apps that can hide phone numbers, pictures. Don't ask me how I know this. But when
I found out about those things, I was like, yo. It's out there.
She knows this. We're transparent. Yeah. But like I told you, I wasn't ready to attract what I was 3.5, 4 years ago because I was on some fuck nigga shit of with being transparent. I'm on some, I want to be able to have wifey at home, comfortable, while still having a few of them things on the roster. And for me, that was a mindset. Remember, life is about unlearning. My dad taught me that since I was a little boy, dog. Have multiple, you can't trust women, they'll always lie to you, so on and so forth. And so for me, I grew up with that mindset and thinking that all women were like that, but not knowing what we talked about earlier, I'm attracting what I am.
Yes, sir.
Right? So if I'm constantly getting cheated on, it's because that's the energy I'm putting out. We call it karma. I call it life.
Yeah.
Right? And so for me, I'm so sick and tired and sick, if you will, of hearing and seeing behaviors of men and women cheating on really, really, really good individuals that have given them access to their whole entire world, emotional systems, game plans, families, kids involved with stuff. And it's like, I can't wrap my head around it. I think that you get to a certain maturity level that's centered around the experience. We've always been talking about the experiences and the waves, but I think I know that I've gotten to a space to where it's like, okay, I know what I want to attract, but most importantly, I know how this thing works now. There is no such thing as hiding things from God and the universe, whatever you want to call it. There's a spiritual realm that exists.
1000%.
And there is no hiding from that. There is no faking the funk. There is no putting on a mask. There is no acting like it's not happening. You absolutely 1000% will attract what you are. So for example, if you're in a relationship with somebody and in your mind you cheating, doing your thing, they don't know, so you rocking and rolling and rocking, if you understand what I'm saying.
Doing your thing.
And doing your thing, still having the wild boy, wild girl season and don't nobody know about it.
Yeah.
And and one random day, your girl feelings or your man feelings start to change about something so small and she don't really understand why, and she's asking herself like, damn, why do I feel like this about Carl from work, or why do I feel like this about Cindy from work, or right? And it's like there's an energy in your relationship that's influencing your decision making and your feelings. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that, dog. So for me, I've learned in the value of self. The only people, and I do mean the only people who cheat on others, are people that don't stand on the values and principles of self. You have no self-respect, because if you had self-respect, you wouldn't try to hide some shit. You wouldn't try to have conversations with motherfuckers on Snapchat because you know the damn conversations get automatically deleted. Can we go there? Can we go there? Because there's people that's going to be tuned into this that's in that season right now, and that's with good people in a relationship and all this stuff, but they feel like they getting away with some shit that they're not really getting away with. Touch on that for me, Mike.
Well, we're going to get right to it. You said something that was pretty dope in the sense of
Was it freaky deaky sneaky deaky?
It wasn't. Okay. Freaky deaky sneaky deaky is something that can be thrown onto the dope palette. It can be thrown onto the dope palette and be used. It can be used. But back then, when you said that, you said you wanted to when you were recognizing behavior in certain people, you kind of had to put them through the ringer, put them through the test a little bit to kind of see who they really were. And when it comes to cheating, I answered this question in the forum before. They was like, why do men cheat?
Yeah.
And I said, a man can say that he loves you, but just like I said, people can only love you as deeply as they love themselves. And self-discipline is a part of self-love. It's one of the biggest parts of self-love.
Absolutely.
And discipline is being able to tell yourself no, to forego some instant gratification, to tell yourself, I'm going to make something I'm going to make my next decision something that's going to add to my longevity of happiness.
Absolutely.
So that longevity is your life.
Yes, sir.
Your life, including your kids, including who it is you lay down with, your spouse, and all of those other things. So with that being said, I think cheating really comes from a lack of self-discipline, and on top of being able to really recognize when somebody's lacking that, you have to be able to kind of put on your listening ears and put on your thinking skills a little bit and allow them to show you what's going on. Yes. Allow them to, because like you said, they'll feel it.
Absolutely.
They'll feel it. And what you do with that feeling is, like I said, you have to be open enough and brave enough and courageous enough to expose what it is you're feeling, what it is you need to say to them. But the regularity of it is bothersome because it becomes so popularized to the masses who, like I said, are in that spot, in that space of hurt where they need something or someone or some emotion to follow. Yeah. So they want to follow that feel-good emotion, but not me. Yeah. I say this. I can't have a woman and cheat on her because for me, then I feel like I'm dating a dummy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Wow, I don't want to be with a woman I feel like I can. Why would I respect somebody I could manipulate?
Wow.
Where does the respect come from in that? Where does the respect come from in that?
There's levels to this.
You know, and I say those men who go after women who they know that they can take advantage of it, because the spectrum of value is kind of like how we talked about the pretty girl in the beginning.
Yep.
Think about the little boys who were 5 and 6 and 7 years old going to daycare, and they were the cutest little boys in daycare, and there were mothers and other teachers. You're so cute. You're gonna be a little lady killer when you grow up.
Yes, sir.
How many girlfriends you got?
Yes, sir.
And they paint the picture for the girls. You're gonna be a little princess. Somebody's gonna come save you.
Yeah.
So you have a world where men are their value system is raised in a spectrum where it's about who's giving what to them, who's meeting them where they're at. And for the women, for a lot of the women, they're learning to find that, like I said, that value system in, you know, what is a man doing for me? So Absolutely. Now everybody is so worried about who's doing what for them that nobody's doing the self-work to be able to know, okay, to be able, because you really have to put yourself through the ringer. If you're that observational with yourself, if you really had to pick pieces and parts of yourself apart, why would you not do the same thing to the person? Me and Jazz started from a very, very foundational level place in which, you know, I wanted her to know, listen, I've been through some things, I've been out here, and I do things very slow. I gotta know that we're in this because I have to trust. I don't want to hide my phone. I don't want to be in the car on Apple Play.
That's too much stress.
And worrying about Tamika just text you and said, "What's up with this ass tonight?" You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, bro. I don't want to live that life.
Calling Mike at 2 in the morning.
I don't, man. One of them pizza places is 24/7, man.
One of them 24 hours.
I just say that, bro. Like, think like you cannot.
Yeah, I feel
the ultimate thing is, bro, it's just a certain level of respect you're gonna have for yourself and a certain level of respect that, you know, you have to have for your partner. And even with men, you know, because I've realized that women have learned how to use, you know, their body, their body as a weapon.
Yes, sir.
I've seen women try to use sex as a weapon.
Likewise.
In a sense to where it's like, you know, I'm gonna call this dude for some pizza when I need some D. I'm gonna call this dude, and then you become a part of that roster. And because the system of the fact that we have a lot of men have shown a very low value and respect for women, it's just reflected and given right back to us.
Yeah.
And we get mad because we're very, very egotistical.
Facts. And
it becomes a very, very horrible toxic cycle that makes people accept, well, if this is what dating is, now I got to play the game.
Right.
If everybody does it, then I just got to play the game.
Yeah.
But you got to be the chain breaker. You got to flip the switch on them, man.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with being a little radical about yourself. There's nothing wrong with treating yourself like you're more, like you being a better person is more important than you possibly, you know, getting a little quickie off for the nighttime, man.
Right.
So
I agree, man.
You got to keep it apart.
You got two brothers right here, man, that have a history, that have a past, but we're very intentional in our present. And I think that this conversation is very needed. It's very it's possible for people out there, man. It breaks my heart, actually, to be honest. I have friends, well, not really friends. I've been watching that word a lot lately, too. I have people that I know that I'm close with that I'm very aware that they're cheating on their girl. Very aware.
I hate it.
It breaks my heart because
you gotta look at them. You gotta look at their woman in the face when they bring them around.
Man, that sucks.
It's
bro.
like I don't want to tell. I'm not. It's not my place to tell you, but damn it.
Oh shit. Like I was literally, like my man literally just pulled up with a different one last week, and I gotta, it's not my place to be like, yo sis, hey, and it's like, but why? And it's like, people. We also have to talk about something very important. People have a very distorted mind centered around sex. I'm gonna say that again.
One more time.
People have a very distorted mindset centered around sex. You have sex addicts out here. Sex addicts don't have a certain look or face. Motherfuckers out here addicted
they just
to the
want to feel.
I know people literally that will stick their dick in anything. And it's like, yo, dog, you ain't got no morals, my nigga. Like, no values. Like you just out here sticky, flicky with the licky. And it's like, that sound like too many clinicky visits.
And you know
what I'm saying? Like that's it's a lot that come with that shit, big dog. And I look at that shit like, damn, nigga, that shit nasty, bro. Like you out here just sticky and licky with anybody, and it's like, again, B Visuals is laughing. I'm serious though.
It's really real.
Niggas
it's really
is out,
real.
Women is out here like that.
It's really real.
It's wild, bro. I ain't got time to be fucking, at the clinic and I'm saying.
You gotta think about what you have to do.
Doing?
You gotta think about what you gotta do to find yourself in these situations. Think about the amount of time people waste. I've took some drives that I shouldn't have taken before.
I've been there, man.
I just look back like, damn.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that my urge, and I feel like the sex addiction and the hypersexuality comes from a generation of people whose hierarchy of needs haven't been met.
Yeah.
If you don't have a firm sense of foundational security with your job, if you don't have a sense of belonging, if you don't have a sense of direction with your life, you're not really looking to go anywhere. You're just looking to feel. Yeah. You're just looking to feel something. Yeah. And you'll take it from damn near anybody who'll give it to you, because they will be the source that allows you to feel. Some people can't. A lot of men, a lot of women sometimes can't even feel the emotion of somebody doing a nice gesture for them or calling to check on them. They don't understand the value in it. Oh, so because they don't see it. They haven't learned the value of it. So the only way they can feel like somebody sees me, somebody feels me, is to be physical. Yeah, is to be physical, bro. And I realized when I started to make my change, and I had my dips and dabbles with some women who weren't even conscious or aware of what they were doing with themselves or their bodies, I had what I would like to call dead sex, in which
this shit means absolutely.
But the thing is,
nothing.
I would do it, and when there's passion involved, it's like, man, we can progress. But for me, I realized, like, bro, came over. What am I doing here? I felt so disgusted in the sense, like, bro, why am I here? And it was like, there was no excess attraction. It was like the ejaculation, the nut is gone, my G. Yeah. Your attraction for her is out of here. Why are you sitting in this room?
And I mean like this, immediately. It's like, damn, what's your name again?
Man,
what's your fucking name?
And that's the place where a lot of people are at. Yeah, that's a lot of people are there, and it takes some solitude. It takes some leaning into some of your uncomfortability to figure out, all right, bro, like where's the next point and meaning in my life coming from?
People need to, I think the ultimate thing that I try to get across to people centered around this topic is to look at themselves. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself. Stop fucking playing. Stop acting like you looked at yourself. Yeah, I read a book. Yeah, I got a mentor.
Watch a couple YouTube videos, I got a YouTube video.
Shut up.
Yeah, man.
Like,
how you living?
Put the work in on yourself. Yeah. If you cannot be single for at least a year, your ass ain't ready to date. If you talk about discipline.
Straight up.
Do you understand within my 3.5 year span of being single, how many times I wanted to just say, fuck it, I'll take her.
Bruh.
Like I'm being completely transparent to where it's like, thank God my queen came, because I don't know who the fuck I would have been with. Bruh. It was like it was getting real. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, ain't none of them out here.
And then when you realize there was a party that may have been low key trying to make it work with somebody who you know wasn't supposed to work with.
Wasn't gonna work.
But you had to bite the bullet. You had to bite the bullet and just be like, you know what? for me and for you, I gotta keep things real. I gotta keep things real because I feel like your purpose will push you.
Yeah.
Your purpose will keep pushing you towards what feels right. And I say don't ignore it. For the people out there who feel like, I feel like I deserve better. If you feel like you do. You do. You just got to become the person who does it. You got to become the person who acts as though they do.
That's right.
Like, there's the whole job interview thing. There's so many people who want the job but don't want to be the person it takes to be good at it, to flourish, to really be the like, people want inadequate security without having the adequate strength.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? I pray for the person. I pray that I can be the person that can make a meal rather than I just need $1 million.
I want to sustain it.
I need the mind.
Yeah.
I need the mind that says I need, so I can damn give this to somebody else.
So it's not about what you can obtain. It's about what you can sustain.
Give.
It's
and
about
give.
Right. You have to be able to sustain in order to give.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people win the fucking lottery and are broke in 2 years?
Somebody did that in my hometown.
It's unbelievable.
And
it's like, okay, you got it, but you didn't have the discipline to sustain it. You didn't have the intention to sustain it. Me and my queen talk all the time. Like, what the fuck is a honeymoon stage? A honeymoon stage is somebody that stops putting forth the fucking effort.
We came in the relationship guns
Am
blasted.
I lying?
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Like, yo, it's like, yo, I feel no fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We say it every single day, and we're going on almost a year now, a few months to a year. And it's like, we're like, damn, is the honeymoon stage over yet? Because I still feel like I just met you every morning, and I'm so excited about this newfound love and these newfound explorations. We heal together, we work together, we struggle together, we celebrate together, we experience new ventures together, we challenge each other, we listen to each other. We don't have it all figured out, but we are two people who are committed to self. I tell her the most attractive quality about you is your discipline. I'm sorry, I say the most attractive aspect about my queen is her ability to be dedicated to herself. I've been telling her that since I met her.
I love it.
Like, you're so dedicated to yourself that it brings out another version of me. You don't tolerate mediocrity in any regard in your life, nor should you. And so that brings another fucking version out of me to where it's like, yo, this woman values self before she values the relationship. She understands that I have to be the best version of me in order for this to be what the highest version of what it can possibly be.
Exactly.
Because you want a man that's going to continuously be growing and challenging himself to reach new heights, so on and so forth. So I think that's super, super important as well.
1000%.
I think that this right here, you know, we got to shout out the sis one more time. Can you just shout the queen out? You know?
Oh yes, my queen. My queen, Jaslyn, aka Brown Rich in this bitch, as she would like me to drop at the end of that thing. That's
she cheesing. Big visuals getting her on camera cheesing.
I'm telling you, bro. When you talk about having no honeymoon phase, I get it. I get it. We grew into this love. You know what I'm saying? We grew into it.
There we go.
We grew into it in a sense. Like I said, when I first really put I'm gonna keep it hot. Like I said, I saw her on the gram, and I was immediately attracted. So I said, you know what?
So who this?
But you're not dumb. So let's take a seat. Let's sit back. Saw that one mutual friend, hit the mutual friend up.
Yes, sir.
Got the good word. I said, okay. Now instead of going right in, what I did, I said, let me just sit here for a little bit.
Yep.
And I don't know you shit, but I kind of just watched. I sat back and watched how she posted to see if she really was. To see if she was who she really said she was.
Man crouched under that high grass and said, "Hold on, let me just kind of peep game real quick."
I said, "Man,
let me see what's going on."
Yeah, because
it
you
look
got
good.
to,
let me see what's going on. Let me go ahead.
I don't want to be fooled. I don't want to jump into nothing.
We're not doing that
I'm
again.
doing it intentionally.
That's right.
I'm not moving for no reason, man.
Yeah.
So I sat back and watched, and I wanted to see if who she advertised on her Instagram was who she was how she carried herself.
That's
Does
right.
it add up? And over time, I saw that she loved her people. I saw that bright light everywhere she went always shine, no matter where she went. I saw how she was with kids.
Yeah.
You know, I saw the fact that, you know, she was open and she could express herself. And I said, you know what, man? I said, I can work with that foundational level right there.
Right there.
So when I came and I spoke to her, I said, listen, I said, I'm different, and I know I am.
Yeah.
Because I know what's out there.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to build up no mystique. Just let some time go by and you'll see. I said, just watch.
Yeah.
I said, it's gonna be times when we're building, because I know people are used to moving at a certain speed.
Absolutely.
But you know, I'm a man who's been, you know, I was married for 3. I was married for 2 years. I was single for 7. Within those 7 years, man, I didn't realize how much the love for the woman always stayed, but I lost a lot of like simple things that you would think that would be easy. Like I remember the first few weeks after we started talking, I knew I was really liking her. She went on tour because she does her thing on tour. She's I call her a rhythmic goddess. That's what I call her. She's the queen of dance. She's a rhythmic goddess. That's what I call her. She really do.
Come on.
And I told her she was on tour, and I didn't speak to her for a couple of days. And by this time, we had been talking, and I was really digging it. Yeah. And it had been like a day or two that we hadn't spoke, and I was like, bruh, you ain't felt this way about
hold
nobody.
On, nigga, my
wait
leg's
a second.
shaking.
Wait
a second. Still over there shaking, Big Mike. I'm not sure if you just caught it right now.
I swear, I had to write. I'm a guy. I have to. Listen. If you need help getting your thoughts out, write it on paper. I'm a guy who likes to write, so I wrote my thoughts out on paper, and I kind of wrote her a letter.
Am I thinking about brown?
I wrote her a letter, and I'm like, I'm sitting here. I don't know why I miss you. I didn't even say that. I said I don't know why I feel the way I do, but I really just want to know about your well-being. Are you okay?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I don't know why, but I care about you.
She said, oh, you miss me. I said,
oh, damn.
Oh. And in that time, I was like, dog, I ain't told a woman I missed her purposely like that in years.
Yeah.
And I realized those things were being pulled out of me through that. And I realized the more I was able to open up, and then, like I said, we were able to get to those points where, we're kicking it. Mm-hmm. And then obviously things arise in which we need to speak to each other to really explain how we feel. I came to her about the way I was feeling about something that had happened. And it was nothing big, but it was something just small enough to give me a pinch. And I just wanted to ask, because people come from different places. People have different methods of communication.
Yes, sir.
So everybody doesn't communicate the same way. Yeah. But I feel like truth will always help lead you to where you're supposed to go.
Absolutely.
So I opened up to her and gave her my truth about how I was feeling. And instead of her running away and being like, you know what?
She drew to it.
She looked me dead in the face and she said, I'm going to stand here with you. And I said, we good. I know it. I knew it. I said, we good. If you can do that, if you can stand with me in the face of that, and let's just be vulnerable humans in front of each other, we can do any damn thing in the world,
Absolutely.
Bro. Any damn thing in the world.
God, it's such a beautiful love story.
And then it just took off. So yeah. So we here now.
We need 2 mics in this motherfucker to be visuals, because we gotta get them 2 on the episode. Hey, and we gotta do a couples special edition. You gotta understand what's going on. We're gonna set that up. I ain't playing with you.
Man.
I'm not playing with you.
I'm with it, man.
He said writing it down, and the first thing I thought about in my head was she went to Costa Rica before we even got officially together, and we just talking and so on and so forth. And she goes to Costa Rica with her homegirl, and I say, yo, I know you in Costa Rica for the weekend. Mm-hmm. I just want to kind of just show you that I'm not trying to be all up on you like that, trying to see what you're doing. Yeah. So I said, I'm going to talk to you Monday. She said, don't tell me you're going to talk to me Monday unless I ask you to do that. So I said, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? Hold on.
She let
I'm trying to give you your space. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to just let you know I'm cool with girl trips. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at the house chilling, drinking my wine.
I'm good.
I'm doing my thing.
I'm great.
And what I was doing the day after that, I wrote a whole ass poem. And I made it. I didn't just send her the poem. I made it on like some app, and I put it in like cursive writing, and I sent her this whole poster poem about her. So I'm thinking about, it's absolutely true. And once we start getting to the point of feeling like, wow, this is different. It's not just me missing you. It's not just me thinking about you, because I can feel that with anybody. But something is different. And something is telling me to discover what that is. Let's explore that.
And it pushed you.
Yeah, it pushed me.
And
God. And here we go. One of the big things, especially men with intention, which is what we are, black men with intention, might I add, we are beautiful people. You have to understand that. But what I'm saying is, one thing about men with intention is we have a sense of direction at every level, every layer. We want to unravel that gift with patience.
Yes.
See, we don't want to just.
It's better to take it slow, man.
We want to go here.
Take it slow.
We want to go here. Okay. Show me that. Okay. Show me that. Okay. Show me that. Every single question from the first time I sat with her and had a conversation with her was intentional, and she'll attest to that. And I think that's what drew her to me from day one. The first night that we went on our date and we sat in my crib and we was chopping it up after our date. Every single question that I asked her was intentional, and none of them was about her looks. None of them was about her body. None of them had a manipulative drive behind it. Like, and I knew that in asking the questions, it was like, yo, I just want to see does she fit the foundational mold for what I'm looking for?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Exactly what you said. Let me see if she at least has the 5 core foundational things, and then I'll know whether or not I want to at least, you know what I'm saying, go to the next level, so on and so forth. So I think this conversation was beautiful.
Very.
And I can't wait for your ass to come back.
Hey, we're going to do it again, man.
You know we are.
We're going to do it again.
You know we
man.
are. You got my word.
Yes, sir.
North Carolina's in the building. They
We
represent
here,
it.
man.
My brother Mike.
Jacksonville made it to the mic, man.
You got to understand right here on Unselfish Behavior Podcast, the #1 podcast in LA. Why? Just because we are. We need no explanation.
Yes, sir. You say
With
it.
that being said, every single episode we like to end off with a special segment. That's right. We call it a special segment because it is a special segment. I love when I break this down the way I break it down because can't nobody break it down the way I break it down. You know, you're going to look at this camera right here, which is your camera. If you didn't know, go and adjust that beanie because
Yes,
you're
sir.
looking fly as ever, my good brother
appreciate it,
Mike.
man.
I think it's a bromance brewing.
And that's all right. And that's all right.
Romance brewing. I think it's a romance brewing.
They like it. They like it.
Come on now.
They like
my good brother gonna look right at this camera right here, and you're gonna lead the people what we call here an unselfish message. That's right. This message could be centered around absolutely any topic, anything that you want to leave the people with, any message that Mike just want to just drop on the head top of the people. What is Mike Gray's unselfish message?
My unselfish message to the people out there, man, is to at the end of the day, treat yourself as though you matter, man. Treat yourself as though you matter. Don't wake up in the morning and sit here and say, hey, I have a dream, I can put it on hold till tomorrow. I don't really want to invest myself in it, man. No, man, it matters. What you do now matters. You don't have to sit there and say, well, I like just chilling because it feels good. No, man. Treat yourself like it matters. Once you start doing valuable things with your time, then your time will become more valuable to you. And when you're excited about what you do with your time, you can make moves based off inspiration instead of waiting to the last minute and doing it off desperation. Thank you. That's all I have to say today, man. I appreciate you, man. I love y'all,
hey,
man.
North Carolina,
yes,
like I said, they represented very well
Yes,
today
sir,
with my
man.
main man, Michael
you,
Gray,
man.
in the building. You know, before we end every single episode off, we always got to shout out the team, my main man, B Visuals. That's right.
Yes.
He is the mind. He is the guru behind Unselfish Behavior Podcast. You got to understand it. Don't nobody work these cameras like B Visuals. You got to understand there's something
Good
special
man.
about them. And always, we got to shout out the queen of the podcast. That's right. She is my queen. She goes by the name of Simone. I'm going to call her Rafaels. I'm just going to give her my last name right now.
Already,
Can I just
man.
throw it on her
It's
right
happening.
now? Go ahead.
It's happening.
We speak things into
It's
existence.
happening. We
You
do
gotta
this.
understand. Just move that ring over to the other
That
finger,
finger.
and we just gonna compromise until it's
Yes,
time.
sir.
You
Yes,
know what
sir.
I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
But we're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
go and speak that the way we need to. She looking at me crazy, but you know, we do what we do.
Yeah.
We always got to shout out the team. And we got to shout out B Visuals' queen, Karen, because she be dealing with a whole lot of our noise while we over here. She behind the scenes, but she's damn sure a part of the team because she tolerates all of our craziness. With that being said, that is an absolute wrap for this episode. Your main man, King Q. Your main man, Mike Gray.
Yes,
North
sir.
Carolina in the building. You got to stand up one time.
Do that.
And we out.
Do that.
Yo, what's going on? It's your main man, King Q. If you like that episode, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, and leave a comment. And also, if you want to follow the movement, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Unselfish Behavior Podcast. And as you know, we out.